It is time for the phone-in segment where you get to have your say on our topic of discussion this morning. It's still Lilian Ogazi here, and let's get right in. The question for this morning is, are Tinubu's strategies benefiting the average Nigerians? Are his strategies benefiting you as a Nigerian watching us today? Now, Tinubu's reform, as we know and as he has said, aims to boost economic growth, tackle inflation, which we saw has dropped, and improve infrastructure. However, many Nigerians struggle with the rising cost, job losses, and economic uncertainty. We see businesses closing down due to how difficult it is to run businesses in Nigeria at this point. We see people increasing the cost of services because of the cost of transportation and the ripple effect of the removal of subsidy. We've seen a lot happening. While some are seeing the long-term benefits of this, others question if these policies are truly addressing the immediate needs of the common citizens. That is why today we want to hear your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on these policies? Are they benefiting you as a Nigerian, or do you think they're benefiting the average Nigerians? What is your take on it? Let's hear your thoughts. Now, since taking office in May 2023, now the president has introduced several reforms that has aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's economy and improving public welfare. I'm just going to list but a few while your calls come in. The questions will be displayed on your screen. Do well to call in or send us a message via WhatsApp, and we'll be here to talk to you. Please, when you call in, do not forget to turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone. Let's be very civil in our approach and be matured in airing our opinion. The question is very simple. Let us go ahead and respond to the question just the way it is, without emotions, but with facts, and without sentiments and emotions, but with facts and a clear head. We're asking, is Tinubu's reforms or are the president's strategies beneficial in one way or another, in any way, to the average Nigerian? What benefits have you gained or seen from it so far as a Nigerian watching here today? So please, you're encouraged to call in. We're here to take your calls and have a chat with you as soon as the numbers is displayed on your screen. Now, a few of the strategy that has come on board since May 2023, one, the removal of fuel subsidy, and I believe that is one every Nigerian has on their lips. The removal of fuel subsidy was the beginning of all of this. When the president declared on his inauguration, the fuel subsidy has been removed. There it all started. But let's have our first call this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Liberty. I'm calling from Abuja.
Good morning, Liberty. Where in Abuja are you calling from?
I'm calling from Moko, close to Cuba.
Okay, close to Cuba. Well, go ahead with your thoughts, Liberty. Do you think the president's strategies are beneficial to the average Nigerian and even to you? Let's be honest.
No. Well, the truth of the matter, therefore, is that Tinubu administration strategies are not beneficial to Nigeria, are not beneficial to me and other Nigerians. This is why, whether we like it or not, there is no country in the world that has lifted its people out of poverty using neoliberal policies of privatization specifically. No country in the world. Chile is an example of a country that produced the highest poverty in the whole of Latin America from 1973 because it embraced neoliberal policies. That's what it is. So what neoliberal policies do is that it destroys the state economy. The only way to improve economy of any state is through industrialization. And industrialization is the only way you can produce or create viable economy. That's what it is. I am sorry, let me submit by saying, Tinubu administration, just like every other part of African country, particularly in Ethiopia, is only going to free money to feed the group of the political elite. An import-driven country like Nigeria needs subsidy in petrol to be able to stay productive economy. That's what it is. We shouldn't deceive ourselves. Tinubu will just float create more unemployment, inequality, and leave. Of course, those in government will look at it as a good strategy. But the truth of the matter, therefore, is that allow me to submit that China did not move forward by implementing neoliberal policies. What China did was to invest huge amount of resources in infrastructure. These are some of the countries that did that, so we shouldn't deceive ourselves. Please have a wonderful celebration.
Thank you very much, Liberty, for your say on our show this morning. And like I said, calling with facts, calling with numbers, calling, without sentiments and without emotions. Let us talk beyond. We know that people are going through a lot, so let's keep the emotions aside and look at things just the way they are. And I would commend Liberty for doing just that. Now let's take the next call. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I can hear you. Go ahead.
My name is Mr. Mike, calling from Abuja.
Mr. Pius, you said?
Mr. Mike, calling from Abuja.
All right, Mr. Mike, it's good to have you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
The issue of Tinubu's policy, my sister, I don't see it as Okay, my sister. Good morning.
Mr. Mike, please turn down the volume of your TV set. We have gone beyond good morning. You have started speaking already. So turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone.
I'm not close to the TV. I'm not close to the
All right,
TV.
go ahead.
All right, good morning. Sorry, the issue of the Tinubu's policy, I'm not seeing it as something that is benefiting Nigerians. So, to be honest with you, these people are just playing the cosmetic politics to we Nigerians, more especially we the layman. They are just playing the cosmetics. Let them just come out and tell the masses the truth. The way things is going in Nigeria is not fair. There is no job, lack of unemployment here and there. People are not working. If somebody is not working, how will you get access to get food? Let them stop deceiving us. Every time, okay, the price of food item has gone down. Only in the north, my sister. What happens to other states? We have not heard from Southeast, Southwest, South, Abuja, even Abuja here. So let them stop deceiving us. Let them stop deceiving us. Please, the government should do something. Things are getting out of hand. The youth, more especially, we are losing it. We are losing patience. The way things is going here, my sister, is unfair. Our government should try. They are not trying, to be honest with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike, for your submission this morning. We appreciate your call this morning. Well, Mr. Mike is also of the opinion that Nigerians are not benefited from it one way or another, especially the youth. Now, 8 years is a long time. Or let's not see, it's not gone for second term yet. So 4 years is a long time for a young Nigerian to be out of job, unable to start a business, unable to start his life. But the question still stays, are Tinubu's strategies beneficial to the average Nigerian? Let's take our next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Ogazi. You are speaking with Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Honestly speaking, if you talk about the benefit that Nigerians drive or get from Tinubu administration, well, these indices that were given by National Bureau of Statistics, honestly speaking, my sister, we are in doubt of it. Drop of inflation, we are in doubt of it. We don't know where they get these indices. Because the truth of the matter is people are still feeling the same. People are still feeling the same. That's the truth of the matter. And you see a country, well, there is benefit because a country where a petty business cannot run because of lack of life, lack of power supply. You see a country where a farmer cannot till a soil to get access to his farm and no fertilizer is a benefit in a negative way. It's a benefit. When at the same time, people, students are getting loan to get a higher certificate or loan, or my sister, on loan, and there is no job for them to pay that loan back. It's a benefit. Well, you see, a country where there is no access of potable drinking water, our roads have become a dead trap. What benefit are you giving? What benefit are you talking about? That's the truth of the matter. This benefit, it was lying on paper, not on a practical aspect. That's the truth of the matter. What we are asking for them is to work hard. Work hard to bring a reasonable adjustment for people to understand that something has been done. But as far as the state that we are in now, there is nothing one can tell to convince us that something has been benefited. That's my take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shatima. I would say I admire the sarcasm you put in it. Now, there's a lot to go around, and I was having a conversation with some gentlemen yesterday, and they said, the reforms might just be going on. It looks like a long-term plan, but in the end of the day, no Nigerian deserves, such, back-to-back reforms coming one after each other when there is really not much measures in place to cushion the effect of this on the people. But the question still stands. We have a call this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Ade from London.
Good morning, Ade. It's good to have you. How is London?
How are you? London is cool. We are getting a little bit mild now because the winter is going a bit.
Okay.
So it's okay.
The weather is about to settle then. All right, go ahead.
My contribution to this is this. I agree with my brother Shetima on one point. That is, farmers can't go to this is not because of fertilizer alone. Security is very, very important. Because without security, you can't achieve anything. So that's why some farmers are afraid to go to their farm. And that is affecting everyone. That's number one. Number two, as a Nigerian, let's be thinking of what we can do for our country, rather than what we can get everything from our country. And somebody spoke and said there is no industry in Nigeria. There are industry in Nigeria, but because there is no power, like Chetima said, it's affecting those industries in Nigeria. Now, let's see this. No matter the policy the government is doing, what are we contributing? I watched TV last week. In Southeast, a whole warehouse full of fake drug, fake drink. They want to serve Nigerians. Is that Tinubu? Is that the federal government? What are we as a Nigerian? Are we faithful to our country? Are we honest with our country? A whole warehouse in Southeast, a whole market, fake drug, fake drink. And that will cause cancer and kill people. Is that federal government? So before they point one finger, think of what you can contribute to Nigeria. We know the fault of federal government. They have been existing not today. We have confession from Babangida yesterday. Those are part of it. So what I'm saying is this: power, security. These two, they are very important. Without it, nothing will happen. Anytime I'm traveling to Nigeria now, I have to pay for my security, write a letter to commissioner of police, get a police, do everything. It costs me a lot of money. But if I'm coming to London, I will just arrive at the airport, take my car where I park it, drive alone to my house, no matter what time. I'm okay. But I can't do that in my country. So security is important and power is important. But let us as a Nigerian think of what you can do to help ourselves, our country. All those fake drugs, people producing fake drugs, fake drink, they should stop it. Fake medicine, they are killing our people. So contribute your quota to Nigeria. God will bless Nigeria.
God will bless.
God bless Trust TV. Have a nice weekend, my sister.
Thank you very much, Ade. You do have a great weekend as well. God bless Nigeria indeed. And I would say I love the charge you've made to Nigerians, which is something I've always said on the show. The things Nigerians do to Nigerians makes me question why they complain about the leadership, because you're probably worse than the leaders at this point in time. All right, let's take the next call we have. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Tell us your name
Hello?
and where... Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead with your thoughts. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Daybreak. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, on the questions you asked, I don't think the policies have been helping any common man. Because what we are seeing, precisely where I'm living, is blasting of Sarin and the dancing globalization by the communication. The only business that is going very well in Nigeria right now is politics. And tell me, why there will not be recruitment and education when they are there preparing the next generation to take over from them? Without looking at how to think outside the box, bring down our technical price over the board, all hands be on the deck, God bless this country, which is brought land, we can start mechanize out the agriculture to feed ourselves at least. What we are hearing every day, developing secondary school, universities, the one we have, how are they something? How are they moving? Do we have a good and qualified president that are really focused on being a private global? We continue putting a senior subject. I don't know what these people are doing. I don't look at central policies that is there at the detriment to the common man, that they are playing Nigerians to the complex measure. Look at what we have. This is not by the church. Somebody has been playing 2 female conductors. And it's at the rate of millions of dollars. Then they're taking small money for 10,000 naira somebody gets to the store or his work to go to school. You want to take it here to see your children that are contributing on the work. Going into the public policies, running on the public, they don't feel it. People are crying. People are crying and you don't feel it. I don't think it's policy is just
All right.
We have to make some good individuals the policies. Recycling conditions.
All right.
That is my stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iwedike from Abia. You know, I love the energy and the vigor you use in calling in. But a quick note there, sir. It is always quite difficult to hear you, some of the words you say, because the network seems to be quite terrible on your end. So please, there are 2 numbers on the screen. If you can hear me, do well to call either of them next time. I love the energy and the vigor you call in with, but would love to hear you a lot more clearly. Let's take the next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone? All right, we lost the call. Let's take the next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling. Hello, ma'am. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and talk to us through your phone?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Omari, calling from Obudu.
From Obudu. All right, please do well to call back. And when you do, please turn down the volume of your TV set. It creates a distraction for you because you're trying to focus on the TV to hear yourself. Simply talk to us through your phone and we can hear you loud and clear if there's a clear connection. Let's take the next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
I can hear you. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you are calling from.
I'm calling from Taraba State.
Okay, your
My
name?
name is Benjamin Williams.
Oh, Benjamin, it's good to have you all the way from Taraba.
I'm calling from Taraba State in Taco.
All right. Go ahead with your thoughts.
We really appreciate what the president is doing. But the only advice that I give to the nation and everybody in Nigeria is that the government they should care about Nigeria border. Because many things that are happening inside the Nigeria, the only care inside Nigeria, they don't care about borders. There are a lot of things that happen, like Southam now. There are terrible things that is happening in Southam. That some people that they are indigent, or they call them they are foreigners. And more to that, a lot of things that let the federal government, it really needs peace in Nigeria. The federal government should focus their attention in border. Those people that are outside, and they should look above the citizens, the elder of those environments. Because a lot of people there, if somebody is retired, if somebody is retired from his seat, from his work, let him come back home and look after his people. People, they are very terrible. You do not come back home. You stay there, same problem home. You say terrorists here, terrorists there, terrorists here, terrorists everywhere. It's those people that return from their faith. Because they want to achieve their aim. They cannot achieve their aim. Later on, the same problem, where people are killing themselves, they are sitting down there. Let them come back home and stay in their house. So that people should see them face to face. You cause trouble here, you are sitting in Abuja. You cause trouble, you are in Kaduna. Well, outsiders are suffering. So all this thing is not good. Let the people that retire, they retire general, they retire everybody, come back home. Build in your house and stay in your house. So that if there is any purpose to your home, let your people stay.
Sure. True. Thank you very much.
This is the problem. And you stay there. And where bordering, people that are bordering are suffering. Come more especially in South and see what is happening there. See the border, see the border adjustment within South and Usa, and see. Let the federal government send people to come and see what it says. Border adjustment that they work in Nigeria have done. It's not like Nigeria, they are not. In fact, it's simple things that is happening. Let this thing, man of solution should come and look after what is happening here.
All right, thank you.
They are suffering. All fighters don't have anything. Borders are suffering. And they are staying in the headquarters there. Let them go home.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin, there for your submission. He has said, which, I find very interesting if that would happen in Nigeria one day, that all political leaders, House of Representatives and members of the Senate, their primary source of healthcare should be the primary healthcare center in the constituency they represent. Did that happen in Nigeria? All right, let's take the next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Delta State. My name is Omari.
All right, please turn down the volume of your TV set.
So the aim of Tinubu will help us is just to help us for the fair price and our refineries. Let them work for us, because moving everything is just the fair price. Just let the fair price come down for the masses, and let us start from somewhere. Because it's the fear that brings everything higher. We are dying because of this poor issue. If you can break this poor down, let it bring it down. We can do whatever we want to do, but let it bring this poor of a thing down. And let this our refinery work. Just do this thing for Nigeria first. Start from somewhere. Just the fuel. It's the only the fuel. I'm begging. Everybody should beg him to bring the fuel price down. Get the fuel price. Bring the fuel price going down. Everything in Nigeria will go smoothly. That is my own opinion there.
All right.
So we should beg him.
Thank you very much. I would say the one way we can beg him is to beg him with our votes when that time comes. Sir, please now, we want to vote you out, or sir, please now, we want to vote you back in. That's one thing I always say. As a Nigerian, you have to understand the power of your vote. If your vote is not powerful, they would not buy it. If your vote is not powerful, they won't give you that cup of gari or cup of rice to buy that vote from you. The mindset that elections are rigged should be taken away from your mind completely, because your votes are important to them, hence they buy it. Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Oh, you sound really low. I could barely hear your name or make out what it is you're saying. Please speak up, and I'm actually eager to hear what you have to say.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I am Usman from Bournemouth.
Usman, thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, thank you, ma. In fact, the beneficial aspect of this policy is from Mr. President. In fact, it is not good at all. Because all the policies are mostly hard. So in a situation whereby hard policies are being implemented, it is supposed to be in the faces. Pick one, make a cushion for that, then implement it. These are long-term benefits where we start to pay Nigerians. But it is in fact, all of those hard policies are being implemented at a time. No notice, nothing. So he said, fuel subsidy gone. What do you implement to cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy? Secondly, economic policies. In fact, the economic nature of the country is touched. So now what are you doing to cushion the effect for the masses?
Sure, absolutely.
If only the government had cushion to run the country and to cushion the effect of the hardship for its citizens, there are many ways. But the only problem is the corruption. Even if the government has a very good policy to implement, there is no monitoring, there is no evaluation, no monitoring and evaluation is lacking. So in a situation whereby the government is doing so, in fact you discover that a lot of people are suffering. And besides, there is no any policy presently on ground that is in fact favoring the masses at all. No any policy that is favoring the masses. Even if you do it for the good of the Nigerian citizens, it is not. In fact, you do only feel better because there is no cushion to in fact, to alleviate any of these hardships. So we are begging the president to kindly please. He should pick one. Now he has said this is fuel subsidy gone. He has said energy, also NEPA, also all other things. What are those? Who are his advisors? Let them advise me right, so that at least he pick one after the other,
All right.
That is my take.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much to our caller there for your thoughts this morning. Well, he has said that, which is something every Nigerians have questioned. There might be the advantages to this in the long run, but at the moment, would Nigerians die because there's an implementation that would benefit them in the next 15 years? What is being done to cushion the effect of this and make sure people are able to sustain their livelihoods, even if it's not going to be the standard it used to be, but they should be able to see dividends of the tax they are paying. They should be able to go about their daily activities without feeling like that money they have in their hands at the moment is the last change they have. You know, like I said, the problem started the moment fuel subsidy was taken. But let's take a couple of WhatsApp messages we have for you this morning. The first message we have this morning is from Paulinus M. Kasua. He said, "Good morning, Lilian. The strategies of Tinubu's government is of benefit to only the presidency, the National Assembly, governors, and closed politicians. To the general masses, all what we know and are passing are more difficult than the days of Pharaoh in the Bible." Okay. All right. We have the next message from Muhammad Usmat Suleiman from Jalingo. He said, "Good morning, Lilian. Hope you're doing well. God bless you and save our country from capitalism. Amen. I felt that President Bola Tinubu's strategies are failing ordinary Nigerians like myself, as it seems only our leaders are reaping the benefits while we face rampant unemployment, insecurity, soaring inflation of food items, and a worsening economy. With the Naira losing its value, widespread tariff hikes impacting every aspect of our life, and the removal of fuel subsidies, it is clear that many Nigerians are in critical condition, struggling to make ends meet under these challenging circumstances." that message is from Mohammed Usmat there, telling us his opinion, and also have from Paulinus M. Kaswa. Well, it's well said. We still have another from Engineer Donatus Kabwe George from Taraba. He said, good morning. Nigeria can be great again if the country focused on vocational and technology-driven courses and also investment in industrialization. I was going to say, even if these courses are there, if there is no investment in the business environment for such courses to thrive when the people are out of school, we're still going to be rotating around the same circle. But thank you for pointing that last part out. And we have from Rabi Mekafi from Kefi. He says, good morning, Lilian Ogazi. The Tinubu strategies and policies are harsh and anti-Nigerians progress, especially with the removal of fuel subsidy. Price of commodities were skyrocketed. People cannot afford food and shelter. Poverty, stealing of food while cooking, begging and complaining here and there from people. We supported Tinubu vehemently, but virtually all his policies and strategies were harsh and anti-development. People were impoverished, hunger and poverty more so. The policies and strategies are one-sided. Example, the appointment and position were lip-sided. In fact, for me, I don't know where the country is going. Well, one thing we know for sure is that the country would be going on the right path if all Nigerians have and take their votes seriously in the long run. Like you said, your vote is your power. So the next election will determine what exactly you intend to do with that power that you have been given. All right, we still have more messages we'll take in the course of the show, but the phone lines are still open and the question still remains, what are your thoughts on the president's policies? Are they beneficial to the average Nigerian? And to throw a little bit more light on that, one of the policies that were made, was the currency devaluation, the tax reform, and the suspension of import duties on essential goods. Have you seen any difference on that one on import duties? Let's take a call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. All right, we've lost the call. Now, we saw the suspension of import duties on essential goods to combat rising food prices. He signed an executive order suspending import duty and value-added tax on essential food items and medical supply. Now, we saw a report yesterday, from a local farm, I think single market in Kano, to be certain, where they spoke about the drop in import duties and said that is what is probably affecting the drop in cost of prices of food commodities in the market. But what are your take on these policies? Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Good morning. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. All right. Please do well to turn down the volume of your TV set when you're calling in and talk to us through your phone. If you want to hear yourself, join our live stream on YouTube. Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. All right, we have to let you go because you need to turn down the volume of your TV set when you're calling in. It's quite reiterating the same thing over and over again. Please turn down the volume of your TV set when you're about to call so we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Lily baby.
Good morning, Abasekong.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate every caller that called this morning. They talked partly what I had in mind to talk about. But I just want us to understand that based on today's topic, are Tinubu's strategies benefiting the average Nigeria? Yes, it is not. Why do I say so? If you do your television station, Daily Hustle, you hear the comments they make during Daily Hustle. They keep on complaining how they could not feed their family. That is one. Two, go to the streets and then look at the beggars. It is from the beggars you will know if somebody has eaten. From there he can give to the beggars on the street. Three, there are the less privileged, the widows.
go and find out from them. Are they eating? Are they benefiting? 4, go and find out from the retirees, those who have retired, public servants, civil servants. Are they benefiting? 5, personally myself, I've not benefited anything. Despite the fact that they said inflation index dropped to 24.48% after the revised report by the NDS. My sister, we should re-strategize. We should go back to the drawing board. Yes, I know that Tinubu is trying. He even tried more than his predecessors. He has really tried. But we need him to put in more vigor, more effort to ensuring that life it can be affordable. Water can be affordable. Just going to the farm can be protected, just like Shetima and my brother in London, I did say. If these things can be put on ground, the beggars in the street, people will be dashing their money. Formerly, if you give a beggar 5 naira, he will not collect. But now, each time I go to the market and 5 naira remains, I say, okay, they'll be just willing to collect it. Now, I just want to say 1 or 2 things. You see, we should ensure that social vices and their impression must be taken care of in our society. That is 1. 2, information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information is security and protection. Then what is knowledge? The KNOW stands for you, the ability for you to know the things around you, to know the things that affect you. Then the L in between knowledge and age means that we must continue to learn, even in our old age. We must continue to learn, learning process. The government should learn, we should learn, trustees should always be learning. Then the EDGE, H, what does it stand for? It means that once you learn, you know the knowledge you have acquired, and then what you know, you have an edge over somebody who does not know. This is what the government needs to do. Thank you, Lilian. God bless you this morning.
Thank you, Abaseko, and God bless you for your submission, and God bless Nigeria. You know, talking about information and, you know, sourcing for information and understanding what is happening in the policy. If you've been watching, you will know it's one thing I've always hampered on, calling on the NOA. How effective are the information you're putting out there for Nigerians? And to the part of Nigerians, read. You can question with your full heart and mind any policy that does not favor you, if only you sit and read and understand and follow up. That is the only way you can hold the government accountable. That is the only way you can understand the power of your vote. You know, I said, keep sentiments aside. Let's look at the country holistically and think of ways to move it better. And the only way that can happen is when you've equipped yourself with information. Now, let's take the next WhatsApp messages we have. We have a message from Nandi Bete in Ogoja. He says, the president says his strategies, especially fuel subsidy removal, tax reforms, increased electricity tariffs, are aimed at fixing the Nigerian economy. Unfortunately, while doing this, the average Nigerian is dying installmentally due to the hardship being imposed by these strategies. The cost of livelihood in this country is getting out of the reach of the average Nigerian. There is a need to re-strategize the strategies. Thank you very much, Nandi. And we have from Kabir Mohammed from Mina. He says, as Nigerians, we deserve better. We deserve policies that address our basic needs, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth. We deserve transparency, accountability, and leaders who truly represent our interests. It is time for the president to listen to the voices of Nigerians and adjust his policies trajectory accordingly. The future of our great nation depends on it. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Kabir Mohammed, for that there. Truly, indeed, he has pointed out what Nigerians and Nigeria deserves, which is something that, you know, every Nigerian should know, the kind of leaders we deserve. And like Ade said, in as much as you're clamoring for the kind of leader you feel you deserve, you as a Nigerian, what is your own quota to the development of the nation? What is your own quota with setting the right tone? What is your own quota with being an individual with conscience. We see Nigerians producing fake drugs that could kill Nigerians. We see kidnapping. We see kids wanting to get rich quick and are ready to do anything for money, even if it means to take a life of someone. We see the glorification of money and wealth, not even questioning where it's gotten from. That happens, when such happens in society, it questions the kind of leadership the society can produce in the long run. Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. All right, we might have to let you go. Please turn on the volume of your TV set when you're calling in so we could hear your thoughts and, get to communicate with you. Still on the policies. Now, in all of this, we've all laid our complaints on different levels. But we know that for every time the president spoke up, he talked about how these policies would help Nigeria in the long run. Now, we're seeing a drop in the prices of food in the market. We're seeing a gradual appreciation of the dollar. I mean, if we're honest, is something going on positively that we would love to acknowledge? Or should we wait and see and not comment on it so we don't jinx it just yet and see how it's probably going to appreciate or get better? What policy alternative do you think the government could have employed at this point in time? Because for every time we talk about the situation of the country, I would say, Tinubu or no Tinubu, this might have just have happened if we had, might just have happened in the long run to the country because we're getting there gradually. But let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
I can hear you. Tell us your name and where you're calling.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
I'm fine. My name is Ravi Salisu from Katsina State.
Did you say Rabi Salisu?
Yes.
Rabi, please turn down the volume of your TV set or we might have to let you go. We can hear you through your phone, so talk to us through your phone.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me very well?
Turn down the volume of your TV set.
I left your place on the TV. Hello?
We didn't say you should, even if you move far away, reception is funny. Turn down the volume completely and talk to us through your phone. Telling us you're far from the TV set makes no difference because it's network. It's still going to pick the feedback. So please turn down the volume of your TV set and call us and talk to us through your phone. So you could also give opportunity to other people to call in as well. Thank you very much. Now, still on, let's talk about the import duty suspension. Do you think the temporary removal of import duty on essential goods has effectively addressed inflation and food security? Ade spoke about security in the country, the level of insecurity. Do you think, part of the reforms that the president is making should have been insecurity should have been part of it, like probably rejigging the security architecture of the nation or finding better ways to combat insecurity? Because farmers cannot go to farm due to insecurity, meaning there is no production. We'll talk about the state of the economy and the cost of running business. Business owners cannot run business effectively. Businesses are closing down due to the cost of running business in Nigeria. So putting all of this together, what policy recommendation or alternative do you think the president could have gone? What other ways do you think he could have done this other than what he's doing right now at the moment? Let's take this call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Isa Mohammed.
Good morning, Isa.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, Isa. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, please, I'm from Damaturu, Yobe State.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, please, thank you for your patience. You have been patient with the viewers and the listeners. I think what you should do now, the moment if somebody didn't turn off the volume of his television, just cut him off. Otherwise, you will be stressing yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, Isa, for that recommendation. But we do want to give everybody the opportunity to call. That is why we give them a chance to do the right thing.
Yeah, thank you. Well. Anyway, I don't have much to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Isa. Aren't you going to contribute on what we have to say this morning?
In fact, if I will contribute, it will take so much time. Maybe later.
All right, Isa. There might not be a second chance, but thank you for calling.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So Issa decided to have pity on me and said, instead of me shouting, turn down the volume of your TV set, we should just cut the person off, since instruction is not being taken at the moment. And Issa, thank you for that submission. We do want to give everyone the opportunity, everyone who has the intention of calling in, the opportunity to do so. But please, help us to help you, help us to hear you by turning down the volume of your TV set. Well, having said that, we're still on, the strategies and the policies of the president, and the question still stands, are they beneficial to the average Nigerian? Let's take our next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling my name.
Your name is?
Abdulrazak.
All right, Abdulrazak, go ahead with your thoughts.
About this, the federal government should. Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, your network is a bit shaky. It's quite difficult to make meaning to what you're saying. Okay, Abdulrazak, there are two numbers on the screen. Please call either of them or the second one. We'll have to let you go. We'll have to let you go because we can barely hear you.
Okay, call the second one.
All right, unfortunately, Abdulrazak, we're wrapping up this segment. Well, we had two numbers there, and we also had WhatsApp messages being taken. So, but we're done with this segment, and we're going on a quick break. To everyone who has called in and shared their thoughts, we say a big thank you. We appreciate you, and we do not take it for granted. We'll be going on a quick break. When we get back, we'll be doubling back on this conversation with a guest for our discussion segment. Do stay tuned. You're welcome back from that quick timeout. It's still Daybreak here on Trust TV, and it's time for our discussion segment here on the show. And today we'll be talking about Tinubu's reforms, trying to understand the thrust of the reforms that have been made by the president so far. Tinubu's reforms have aimed to revitalize Nigeria's economy through subsidy removal, foreign exchange liberalization, and infrastructural development. You said funding has been crucial to Nigeria, supporting healthcare. Now, through all of this, through the reforms, rather, we have seen that a lot have been done. Nigerians have spoken on them, and we've heard the opinion of Nigerians. But to double back on the conversation, to know what exactly is the thrust of these reforms. What do Nigerians stand to gain? What do Nigerians stand to benefit? What are the potentials of this materializing or being what the country deserves to be in the next 8 years? Are there advantages to it whatsoever? Now, joining us in the studio, we are being joined over the phone, rather, by Ambassador Chibuzo Okereke, legislative governance expert and a policy analyst, and also president of ERGAF Africa. Thank you very much for joining us via phone, Ambassador Chibuzo. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Now, a quick question. What are your takes on the reforms in general that the president have made so far? A lot of Nigerians have spoken in our initial segment, all pointing out to how the disadvantage it has on them and their lives. What are your thoughts on it as one who is a policy analyst expert? All right, so let's do a quick introduction. It seems we to have lost him due to a certain network glitch, but since assuming office, one would say the president has embarked on several ambitious reforms aimed at revitalizing the economy. Now, different opinions, hold on this, and we have critics who are coming out to say that supporters rather argue that these measures are necessary to address the long-standing economic issues, reduce government deficits, and create a more sustainable economic environment. Now, one of those reforms that were made in light of that to create a more sustainable governance was the removal of fuel subsidy. We also saw the cutting the cost of governance, attempted cutting the cost of governance that was being done. But the removal of fuel subsidy was one major one that took a blow on Nigerians. But the president will always say, and even supporters have always said, it was necessary for the point at which it happened. But critics, on the other hand, contend the rapid implementation of these policies, how they all came at such a short period of time together. And because of this, it exacerbated the poverty, and exacerbated economic hardship, leading to increased inflation and way, way high cost of living. It was so bad that things you bought this week, you're not certain of the price. Next week, it might be double or 3 times the price without an immediate relief measure or a cushion effect for Nigerians. But in all of this, Nigerians always have that constant question of, were there going to be alternatives to the policy implementation? What other implementation could have been done differently? Now, we saw the elimination of fuel subsidy as a decisive move to remove the long-standing fuel subsidy. But were there going to be policy alternatives to all of this? Let's join our guest now. Good morning, Ambassador Chibuzo.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, we still have Ambassador Chibuzo, if you can hear me. The first question I'll put to you is, what is your take on the various policies that has been put in place by this administration in the long run? Would you say that they have substantial benefits in the long run, or they are disadvantages and it's completely bad with no benefits to Nigerians? It's so unfortunate that, despite the fact that they have increased the tariff for phone calls and data and the telecom tariff, we are still struggling and grappling with network issues. It's quite unfortunate we still have that happening at this point in time in Nigeria. I mean, nobody's immune to it. That's the funniest aspect of it all. Absolutely no one is immune to it. It can happen to anybody. But still, on the reforms that have been made, we have the currency devaluation, where the administration allowed the naira to float freely, resulting in significant devaluation. Now, this policy was aimed to unifying the exchange rates and attract foreign investors, but it led to increased import costs and inflation still. So what are your thoughts on that? Tax reforms. Efforts to overhaul the tax system include a proposal to revise the value-added tax, revenue sharing formula, which has been in the news and has been at the forefront of conversations for the past, I would say, since the year started. Issue on tax reforms have been spoken about. The sharing formula, the value-added tax were on the lips of Nigerians. But while this intended to streamline tax codes and boost revenue, the reforms did face opposition and lots of criticism from, several concerned potential individuals in the nation. Now, we also had one other One other reforms that was being put in place was the minimum wage implementation, which till date, most states are complaining that they are not seeing the benefits of it one way or another. So all of this put in place, these reforms elicited mixed reactions, and we heard those reactions from our callers this morning. It's quite unfortunate we couldn't get our guests to join in. One of the things that also happened was the increase in telecom prices, which our callers put through, and they ignored it and did well to call in and share their opinion. But seems nobody's immune to it, as we couldn't reach our guest this morning. We hope to one day have him in the studio and have this conversation someday. But we'll be going on a quick break. When we get back, we'll be looking at stories that made it to the front pages of our dailies. Do stay.